let's first connect to the data, and that would be superstore for TYD2. Now this file has 3 sheets of data. We've already been working with the orders data, so let's drag orders and drop it there. Okay. And you click this, and then you can review what are the different columns. So we have order priority, discount, order ID, customer ID, and all kinds of other good information. So now let's bring in return. But even before we bring in return, let's look at what the return table contains. The return table contains order ID and the status of the order, okay, whether the order has been returned or not. So what we want to do now is you have the order table and you have the return table, the orders that have been returned. Now we want to combine these 2 tables so we can look at which orders have been returned and which orders are not returned or are good orders. Okay. So as long as there is a common field, and if the common field has the same ID, same title, then the join will be automatic. You don't have to do anything. So here we have order ID as a column name, and here, so in this table also we have the same order ID column. So since the order ID column with the same name is present in both the tables, the join would be automatic. So if you click, drag and drop the return table here, it automatically figures out that order ID is the common field, and so I'm going to join the 2 tables on that basis. Okay. Suppose if there is more than one variable with the same name, or if you have the same key column but have different column IDs in the 2 different tables, then you have to go and make the connection yourself, and that's easy. All you have to do is to simply connect, click and create select the, you can so you click this, and then it will give you the options. You can go and select which column ID from the first data source to be connected to which column ID in the second data source. That would be manually prepared join. So as I said, the key column has the same column ID, then the join will be automatic. Okay. And there are 4 kinds of join that is possible. And you have to be very careful with this. Now the inner join, that's usually that will be the default. Inner join means that a record must be available in both places. Okay. So if you have an order ID, so this is now based on order ID, right? So the order ID must be present in the orders database, and the order ID must be present in the returned database as well. Then it will be connected, and you will have a record in the output. Otherwise, that record will not be placed in the output table. So which means you have the return table, you have the order ID, you do an inner join, then in the resulting table, will you have any orders that was not returned? If an order was not returned, then you're not going to see that order ID in the returned database. So if you do an inner join, okay, so this is the master database. All order IDs are here. And here is a subset of that, and that contains orders that have been returned. Now if you do an inner join, then the resulting table will have only the returned order IDs. It will not contain any of the other orders, because a given record must be present in both tables for it to make it to the output. But that's not what we want. What we want is all the orders to be placed in the output, but with an added column that indicates whether a given order has been returned or not. And for that, you have to select a left join. So left join would be to take all of the orders from the left side table, which is the primary table, and then it will put this wherever there is a connection, that column will be brought in here. Otherwise, it will be a null value. So if a given order is not returned and therefore not present in the second table, that column will have a null value there. Okay. Now, right to left, there is a right join as well available to you. Okay. In this particular example, right join would be the same as inner join, because you are now going to keep the right side table and then add wherever there is a connection available, which will be like the inner join in this example. In other examples, it could be different. And then there is full outer joins, which means that all the records in either of these two tables will be placed. If there is commonality, then you will find the commonality values there between the, for the key column. Yeah. And if there is no record present for a particular key column, that will be a null value. So in this example, full outer would be same as the left join in this particular example. So what we want here is the left join. Okay, that's it. So now we have the left join. Let's look at the data. And this icon here tells you what kind of join is presently being used. Okay, any questions? Now let's go ahead and take a look at how the join has worked. So let's go to the work table, worksheet here, and we're going to use the sales in column, order ID. So we'll use order ID here. Well, we're going to reverse it like this. So we're going to do it this way. Okay, so we have the order ID and sales. Now we want to sort the order ID in descending order of sales, which we have done previously. So we want to sort the order ID. So you go and click sort. Okay. And then in descending order, not on the source order, not on alphabetical, but we want on the field sales, sum of sales. And if you apply, you can see that now the orders are sorted by total sales. Okay. And now we want to color these to see which ones have been returned. So if you move the status, okay, now status comes from the returns table. There, and you see the orders that have been returned are highlighted with this. Anything that is null is blue. And if you want to change the color, all you have to do is to go click and edit color. It tells you the color that is currently selected, and you can change it. So suppose we want this return to be, say, red, and null to be whatever. Okay. So this is an example of join. When you have, and you use join when the data tables all come from the same data connection. Okay, all the tables must be in the same data source, then you use join in this fashion.